WWE recently made headlines after parting ways with 12 superstars in October, most of whom were part of the Evolve, LFG, and ID programs. As always, when mass releases occur, fans begin speculating about the reasons behind each decision. However, a recent report has shed light on one of the most surprising cuts of all, the release of former NXT North American champion Wes Lee. For many fans and insiders, Wes Lee's departure was nothing short of shocking. Having been signed with WWE since 2020, Lee had built a strong reputation within NXT as one of the brand's most exciting and athletic competitors. His high-flying style, charisma, and connection with fans made him one of the most popular stars in NXT's mid-card scene. At only 30 years old, Lee was considered a talent with tremendous upside, someone who could easily transition to the main roster in the near future. According to a report shared by Fightful Select's Sean Ross Sapp, the decision to release Wes Lee came as a major surprise, not only to fans but also to many people backstage in WWE. When asked by a fan about the reasoning behind Lee's release, Sapp explained that there wasn't any known disciplinary issue or backstage heat that caused it. Lee had been featured consistently on NXT television and was seen as a reliable performer. Sapp went on to note that the company's decision wasn't performance-related. Instead, it was part of a broader internal restructuring and budget adjustment within WWE's developmental system. Despite his talent and popularity, Lee was ultimately released as part of the company's effort to streamline its roster ahead of future plans for NXT and the main roster. Sapp described it as one of the most surprising cuts of the year, given that Lee was still actively involved in storylines and had no apparent reason to be let go. Before joining WWE, Wes Lee had already made a name for himself across various wrestling promotions. He was best known for his work in TNA Wrestling, now Impact Wrestling, as part of the exciting trio known as the Rascals, alongside Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz. The group became fan favorites due to their creativity, fast-paced matches, and unique chemistry in the ring. Lee also competed in promotions such as Lucha Underground, Dragon Gate, All-American Wrestling, and Combat Zone Wrestling, where he honed his craft and built his reputation as a must-watch performer. When Lee signed with WWE in 2020, many fans saw it as the beginning of a bright future. He quickly found success in NXT, capturing the NXT North American Championship and earning critical acclaim for his matches. His bouts were consistently praised for their intensity and storytelling, and he stood out as one of the most complete athletes in WWE's developmental brand. WWE Hall of Famer Booker T recently shared his thoughts on Wes Lee's release during an episode of his Hall of Fame podcast. The two-time Hall of Famer expressed his admiration for Lee's in-ring talent and professionalism, saying he believed Lee had the potential to go far in the business. However, Booker T also provided an interesting perspective on WWE's developmental process, suggesting that stars should ideally remain in the developmental system for no more than 2.5 years. According to Booker, the goal of NXT is to prepare talent for the main roster, and staying too long in the system can sometimes stall career momentum. Booker T's comments echo a sentiment shared by some in the wrestling community, that WWE's developmental pipeline is evolving, and the company may be focusing more on introducing fresh faces who fit its current long-term vision. Unfortunately, that may have contributed to Wes Lee's departure despite his undeniable talent. While fans may still be disappointed by the news, many believe Wes Lee's future remains bright. Given his experience, fan following, and reputation as one of the most exciting performers of his generation, it's only a matter of time before he resurfaces elsewhere in the wrestling world, perhaps even returning to familiar ground in TNA or exploring new opportunities in AEW or NJPW. In the end, Wes Lee's release serves as another reminder of the unpredictable nature of the wrestling business, where even the most talented stars aren't guaranteed security. But if his track record is any indication, Wes Lee will undoubtedly bounce back stronger than ever.